you again. I I can't feel you.
I'm sorry. Nights are hard.
Whoever wrote the I can't feel you line, you'll be hearing from my lawyer and paying for my therapy. The romantic relationship between Rogue and Gambit has long been one of the most iconic and emotionally charging pairings in the X-Men franchise. Their love has always been complicated by Rogue's mutant ability to absorb the memories, powers, and very essence of anyone she touches. This condition makes physical intimacy a danger not only to others, but to her emotional well-being. In the 2024 X-Men 97 series, that long-standing tension comes to a devastating head. Rogue makes decisions that have polarized fans, ending in an outpouring of frustration and anger, particularly towards her character. But beneath the fan outrage lies a deeper, more tragic story of identity, love, and the desperate human need for connection. Rogue's mutation is not just a physical condition, it is a metaphor for emotional and psychological distance. Her inability to touch is symbolic of a deeper emotional wall she has had to erect around herself. It depraves her of the most basic human comfort, physical affection. Over time, this lack of contact has shaped Rogue into someone who equates love with touch. This is not superficiality, but a trauma response. Her yearning for a real physical connection is as central to her identity as her southern drawl and white streaked hair. Gambit and Rogue has always been written as a tragic pair, their love defined by what they cannot do. Despite their flirtation, intimacy, and loyalty to each other, they are forced to navigate a relationship without touch, yet they remain devoted, a bond built on emotional depth and mutual understanding. Gambit has always reassured her that their love transcends physical limitations.
Something's a bit deeper than skin, Sheer.
But even the most patient love has limits, and Rogue has always carried guilt over what she cannot provide. Her decision to pull away from Gambit in X-Men 97, claiming that they were never truly official because they weren't, was less about the absence of love and more about sparing him from a future defined by deprivation. This is where the fans begin to divide. Some see her decision as mature and self-sacrificial, others see it as betrayal.
We were all rooting for you! How dare you! Learn something from this!
Enter Magneto. The creep. Let's be so for real, Magneto's in his 60s, and how old was Rogue in these flashbacks? Is no one not gonna question this? Just me? Okay. He is older, charismatic, powerful, and most importantly, immune to her powers. He can touch her. This alone is enough to tempt Rogue, if you know what I'm saying. But it goes deeper. For someone who has been denied touch most of her life, the opportunity to feel skin-on-skin contact without consequence is overwhelming. Magneto represents not just physical fulfillment, but freedom from her curse.
I just might have to dig you down on some gangster shit.
It is not a surprise that Rogue is drawn to him. What fans saw as an insensitive betrayal was, in reality, a deeply human mistake made by someone starved for physical affection. Now listen to your girl tunes. Rogue does not immediately fall for Magneto. No, she doesn't. She is honest with Gambit about her feelings and her choice. I don't know how many times I will have to say this. She did not cheat. But she does make the tragic miscalculation of conflating touch with emotional connection. Love, she learns, is not skin deep. When Gambit lies dead in Rogue's arm, she touches him without fear and finds nothing. She says,
I can't feel you.
To this day! To this day!
And for her, that line is the final gut punch. Given her powers, she should be able to absorb his essence, feel his love for her, and glimpse his memories of their time together, but there is nothing. because Gambit is truly gone. I can't wait for season 2, bruh. We all know what this means, right? This full circle moment in Rogue's arc, and yet it is this scene that has sparked the most vitriol. What fans overlook is that Rogue never stopped loving him. Her love was so strong that she tried to set him free, but Rogue didn't want to string him along. She chose what she thought was best for him, not for herself, and that ironically is what makes it feel so cruel. So, why the backlash? Simply put, it hurts. Fans were deeply invested in Rogue and Gambit's relationship, and X-Men 97 dared to give that relationship an unhappy ending? Rather than a clean break of mutual understanding, we got miscommunication, heartbreak, and death. And you know what? I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was hella mad at Rogue for this scene. You know your man is watching you right now. Because listen, Rogue is the easier one to blame because she lived, because she made the hard choice. Her humanity, her flaws, her misguided longing for connection, all of it is on display. And in a fandom where characters are often idolized and romanticized, that kind of emotional messiness feels like betrayal. Rogue is not a villain. She is not a heartless woman who replaced Gambit at the first opportunity. Not to mention, they weren't even together. They just had a very baffling situationship going on. She is a deeply traumatized, emotionally complex character who made a mistake out of loneliness and pain. Her story in X-Men 97 is not one of betrayal, but of the desperate human need for connection, and the terrible choices we sometimes make to find it. Before X-Men 97, Rogue's life was an ever-evolving tragedy. Her mutation, absorption through skin contact, wasn't just inconvenient, it was isolating, traumatic, and horrifying. As a teen, her first kiss left a boy in a coma. That one moment of innocent human intimacy shattered her belief in herself and her ability to be loved. Fleeing from an abusive home, Rogue found a distorted version of care in Mystique. I'm not gonna lie, Mystique, you really ain't shit. Mystique took her in and protected her, mentoring her, loving her, even grooming her for villainy. Rogue called her mama, and for a time, that love seemed real. But even that relationship turned to pain when Mystique manipulated Rogue into permanently stealing Miss Marvel's powers. It gave Rogue flight and super strength, but also fractured her sense of identity and morality. Only Charles Xavier offered her healing. Under his care, she discovered what real love and guidance felt like, but the damage had already been done. Even among the X-Men who valued her strength and who loved her, Rogue remained apart. Untouchable. Rogue's bond with Remy became the emotional heartbeat of her X-Men journey. He adored her, respected her boundaries, and flirted shamelessly but never pushed too far.
What's wrong, Cher?
You know what happens when I touch somebody. You want to end up in the hospital?
Maybe it's worth it, no?
Ugh.
I fantasize about it all the time if you were mine.
He made her feel wanted without making her feel like a burden. And yet, she still pushed him away, not because she didn't love him, but because she did. Every time she tried to touch him, he suffered. Every attempt at intimacy backfired, and so, Rogue resolved to save him from herself, locking her heart behind the very skin that had cursed her. They were in love, but apart, constantly orbiting each other, a dance of almost and maybes. It was beautiful and unbearable. In a final agonizing twist of fate, Rogue chooses Gambit. She chooses vulnerability. She chooses to stop running from her fear and to embrace the man who has always loved her, scars and all. And then the world ends. Sentinels annihilate Genosha. Magneto, who offered her touch and shelter, dies before her eyes. And minutes later, Remy dies too.
I'm already going through a lot of shit right now. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Real shit.
It's true.
Fuck, gonna snatch what? What?
That was crazy.
Bro, this girl cannot catch a break. The man she finally chose, finally accepted, finally let herself believe in gone. Not just gone, but untouchably gone. For once, she wants her powers to work and they don't! The tragedy of Rogue is that every time she reaches for something good, the world pulls it away. Her arc in X-Men 97 isn't a betrayal of her past, it's the culmination of a lifetime of emotional war. She's a woman who wants what every human being wants: to be held, to be safe, to be felt. Rogue is not hated because she made the wrong choice. She's hated because she made human choices and paid dearly for them.
You're nothing but a liar, a cheater, a deceiver, heartbreaker.
Physical touch is one of the most fundamental aspects of human experience, from the gentle embrace of a mother comforting her child to the reassuring handshake between friends. Touch communicates emotions and fosters connection in ways that words often cannot. It is a powerful biological and emotional force that influences our development, regulates stress, and deepens bonds. For most people, it's a natural everyday part of life. For Rogue, it's a dream she can't touch. Literally, Rogue's power made skin-to-skin contact deadly, and in a world where touch is healing, comforting, and essential, being deprived of it becomes a slow kind of emotional starvation. Her story in X-Men 97 is not just about love lost or misunderstood relationships. It's about living in a body that betrays the most human need: connection. Touch is the first sense to develop in the womb. Our skin, our largest organ, is embedded with receptors that detect warmth, pressure, and pain. These signals travel through complex neural pathways, stimulating brain regions involved in emotional regulation, memory, and bonding. When we hug, hold hands, or cuddle, our brain releases oxytocin, the love hormone. This hormone reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and fosters feelings of trust and safety. Now, imagine living without it. Rogue can't hold someone's hand. She can't hug her teammates after a hard-fought battle without her skin being completely covered. She can't feel the soft press of lips in a kiss without the looming threat of draining their very life force. Her powers turn something comforting into something dangerous, and the lack of this vital sensory connection affects her psychologically in ways that are often overlooked. And when people ask, why didn't she just wear a mutant inhibitor collar? The answer is simple. She did try, and it nearly destroyed her. These devices suppress mutant powers, but they also disrupt the user's physical health. Rogue suffered from migraines, confusion, and exhaustion. It wasn't sustainable and it wasn't safe. Just like her love life, there was always a cost. Studies show that people deprived of affectionate touch suffer from increased anxiety, depression, and weakened immune systems. Infants who aren't held can fail to thrive. Adults who live without touch may feel lonely even in a crowded room. Rogue's emotional state isn't just a personality quirk, it's a clinical case of chronic touch deprivation, complicated by guilt, fear, and loss. She is isolated not by choice, but by biology. And that isolation shapes every relationship, every mistake, every desperate choice she makes. Fans may judge her, but her story is a reflection of something all too human: the desperate need to be held and the fear that we never will be. And for all the people who say, I hate cheaters, cool. Keep that same energy for Wolverine, who constantly went after Jean Grey, a married woman, homewrecker. And don't worry, I didn't forget about Cyclops too. He cheated as well, telepathically, with Madeline Pryor. Gambit himself, the ultimate flirt, who's made bad decisions with other women in the past too. So if we're gonna be so for real, everybody in the X-Men cheated once in a while. So if you hate Rogue for cheating, which she didn't do, but glorify Logan or Scott, congratulations, you're not against cheating, you're just selectively mad. Rogue and Gambit were never simple, okay? If you've read the comics or seen any other X-Men media in your life, like girl, they always been messy. Other than the Logan Jean Scott love triangle, Rogue and Gambit are the X-Men's most soap opera couple, alright? In the end, she chose love and still lost everything. She lost Magneto, then she lost Remy. The first time she could safely hold the man she loved, she couldn't feel him. Her greatest fear realized that even if she chose love, love wouldn't stay. This is the last time I'll be saying this. Rogue is not a cheater. She's a tragic hero, the embodiment of how love and pain are too often inseparable. You don't have to like Rogue's choices, but if you're going to judge her, judge the world that keeps punishing her for wanting what everyone else takes for granted. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And I'll see you guys next time. And let me know in the comments below, are y'all excited for season 2?